perhaps a closer call than you would like at the end, but up until that point, you got some really strong play from Mario Demera. Campos gets the bases clearing double. What stood out to you from tonight's game? Another win, a series win.
Well, I think that's the takeaway is series win. 2 in a row against a good Cal team. So you can never argue about that, or the things we can clean up. Heck yeah, but things you'd like to see better executed on the offensive side and the pitching side, absolutely. But I'm never going to complain about a win against a good team, especially like that. So always interesting. You can almost expect it. We're not going to have an easy coast to the finish line around here. It's just is the way it is. So we know that we can't let off the gas and score as many runs as we can and try to finish it out. So clutch hitting, Mario obviously with the grand slam there after it looked like we were going to squander a big opportunity with the bases loaded, no outs, and a couple of punch outs and get down 1-2, and he puts a charge into one, which was huge. Campy coming up with the big bases clearing double. Other than that, we didn't really hit very well with runners in scoring position. So had a lot of opportunities to cash in more runs, but those were the 2 big hits, obviously. But other than that, we were pretty dismal, I think, with guys in scoring position. But end of the day, it's a W for the good guys, and I'm not going to complain about that.
You got some really good production out of Mario the last couple of games, and it seems like he's starting to really settle into his role at third base after kind of being real shaky at the plate to start the season. What do you credit to that, or is it more so, he was in here, he shows a sort of consistent mindset, very calm and composed. What have you seen from him throughout the season?
No, I think it's tough. He's in a different role than he's been in most of his career. He's been accustomed to being an everyday guy at USF, and coming here and getting spotting playing time. It's tough. It's hard to figure out your timing and your rhythm when you're not playing a whole lot, and not only offensively but defensively. It's tough to find your rhythm, and he's playing a different position. He's playing third as opposed to second, so he's going through some adjustments. But I'm hopeful, and it looks like he's starting to get more and more comfortable. And with the way our squad's banged up, we're going to need him. So it's hopefully he continues to produce and do well.
Haven't seen Schieffer kind of have some trouble like that in quite some time in the 9th inning. What was kind of your viewpoint on kind of what Cal was being able to pick up on and put up some runs there in the 9th?
Well, I think we Green put a charge into one there on him, and we just missed an 0-2 spot. We got to be better 0-2 right there, and he knows that. And then I think I'll have to go back and look at video, but it looked like he was up a little bit up in the zone maybe, and they were laying off his split. A couple times they swung and looked pretty ugly, but they made a pretty quick adjustment on it. So we'll go back and look and see where those pitches were, if he was leaving them down the middle or whatever. But he's human. He's gonna give up some hits every now and again, and like I told him, wasn't your best stuff, but hey man, you kept us in the lead, so that's all that matters.
How critical is it as the season goes along, talking about how deep his lineup is, but to see guys like Demera and Iman Lance be able to kind of find their stride a little bit here in recent stretches, and to be able to come into these different situations when there are injuries, and also even just in pinch hit spots as well?
Well, we're going to need him, and not only because, like I said, we're thin and we're down a few guys, and doesn't look like we're going to get a couple of them back anytime soon. So, these guys are going to have to contribute, and it's also my job to figure out ways to get them in the game to keep them sharp. So that's been my challenge early on, but as we move forward, we're going to have to move guys around into positions that maybe they're not used to playing, and it's, hey, given what we're going to have to do, that might be the recipe where we got to throw it together, and there's going to be guys out of position, and it might look a little awkward, but hey, just go play some backyard wiffle ball, catch it and throw it to the right base, and go try and outslug them. So that might have to be the recipe as we move down the stretch here. But guys are contributing. It's big. The Lancer and Mario today had a nice day. So we're going to need those guys to continue stepping up, and the other guys aren't going to stay hot all year. They're going to be up and down, and we're going to need other guys to contribute.
Coach, 12 walks is a lot for your offense to be given in one night. What are your initial thoughts of the plate discipline that your offense has been showing over the last few weeks? And do you feel like that it's improving after a performance like tonight, or do you feel like it's more on that pitching staff?
Well, I think when you get given 12 walks, you'd like to put up some more runs than we did, and it's tough to complain about putting up 10 runs, but when they're going to give you 12 free passes, you got to take advantage of those situations a little bit better, I think. So I'm being critical, of course, but our goals are to keep getting better. So we have to figure out ways to, move runs across with 12 walks and 3 errors, and we got to figure out ways to come up with some big hits when we, hopefully put nails in the coffin, to take a little bit of pressure off some of our pitching staff to, use certain guys in different situations so we can save arms if we can. So it's just one of those things that we got to try to do a better job of cashing in when we can.
2 weeks ago in Tucson, obviously had a chance to sweep and let it go there on the Sunday game. Now it being de facto Sunday game tomorrow, what needs to go into ensuring you get all 3 games?
Well, you can't get the third one without the first 2, so we got those, and now it's just a matter of coming. Like I said, the results take care of themselves as long as you show up and play the right way, and have the mindset to come in and play the right way. So hopefully our guys are ready to go tomorrow. They should be. We can't afford to have any mental letdowns or whatever. Tomorrow's weather is supposed to be kind of crazy, I hear, so we'll find out. We got to keep the ball in the yard, and depending on which way the wind is blowing, if it's going in or out tomorrow, we'll see. But it'll be some elements to deal with. Hopefully our guys come ready to play.
Coach, just your overall thoughts on Ben Jacobs' outing today and how he kind of navigated after that first inning.
Man, the first inning's kind of been giving us some fits as of late, but he was able to keep it small there in the first. I thought that was big. He had a chance to have that unravel a little bit, and he was able to keep it to 1 run right there and make some big pitches when he had to, and walked the tightrope there a couple times, but he was able to keep the damage fairly small and keep us in there. So wasn't his most electric performance, but he did enough to keep us in the game and give us an opportunity to take the lead. So overall he was solid. And we needed some innings, and the last 2 days to ask relievers to start games and try to give us some length is it's been difficult, but we've been able to navigate it and get through it.
With him coming in in place of Burns, and then of course with Mario coming in at third, what does it say about just these players' ability to have their name called and show up?
Just try to preach to these guys, stay ready and be ready. But you never know when your number is going to be called, and we're going to need you. So, stay available, stay ready, and try to stay sharp. Even though you're not getting the playing time you might want, you never know when your opportunity is coming. So, when that happens, take advantage of it and make my job tough, which some of these guys are doing right now.
Have you or Sam spoken to the starters at all about emphasizing making sure that you get through a clean first and not having these issues in the future?
Well, again, these guys are last 2 days or last several days. There are a lot of relievers that are starting games and guys that are asked to be in different roles, but you certainly don't want to go out and give up runs. They're not trying to, but there has to be an emphasis of hopefully setting the tone and getting off to a better start than we have. We don't want to have to climb out of holes every day if we don't have to. But if that means we win, then hey, go ahead and spot them a few runs in the first every day. If that means it's going to wake our bats up and get them going. But that's something that the last couple of days haven't been great on that, but I'm confident they'll adjust and they'll be fine.
Coach, Ryan told us just now about how he's been trying to mentor this young pitching staff, especially the freshmen like Cole and Wyatt, and how to adjust to them on a night-to-night basis. What have you seen just from a large scale perspective in your leadership, looking at what he's necessarily done to try to help those guys, especially with how much you talk about how young this pitching staff is and the veteran that Ryan brings?
Ryan Campos?
Yes.
Campy's a staple. He's a calming presence. He's not a real overly vocal guy, but it just his overall leadership presence and calming personality, I think, is important for these young guys to for him to lead them. So there's different styles of leadership. There's guys that are vocal and loud and boisterous. That's not Ryan. Campy's more subdued and calming and just say very matter of fact, hey, this is what we got to do, and it's in a calming manner. So he relates well to a lot of these young guys that are, that like throwing to him, and obviously he's done a great job at it so far.
Really kind of harped on the leadership, just kind of as of late. Do you feel like that's kind of improved, and if so, how do you feel like it's changed?
I think it's leadership can be developed. Some guys, have it, born with it, and other guys need to develop it. And I think as a whole in our clubhouse, that's something that needs to be developed a little bit more, and guys got to get out of their comfort zones and be able to do that. I think we have plenty of guys in there that are capable of doing it, and they're starting to be more accountability, and guys are starting to step up. So for me, that's a good sign.
Coach, you talked about before the season how this was kind of your full recruiting class that you were able to get under your leadership, and then also now navigating the evolving transfer portal. How have you balanced the guys that you've acquired through the portal and then the up-and-coming guys like Mendoza, and trying to navigate the different spots and the levels of experience?
For me, it's just navigating that is simple. You just buy into what we're trying to do as a program, and whether or not you're a new guy or you're a freshman or a fourth-year senior, fifth-year senior coming from another program, you're coming here for one common goal and one common purpose. So if you're not here for that reason, then I guess you chose the wrong place. But for me, that's got to be the buy-in. Guys have to understand what wearing a Sun Devil uniform means, and buy into what we're trying to do as a program. And so far, it's I have no complaints on that.
And with that, on that note of just like the program and that being the forefront of the mind, when you were talking to some of those guys like Lance and Demera and other transfer portal additions, or some of those messages about maybe having to sacrifice a little bit of that playing time for the betterment of the program?
I've never asked guys to sacrifice playing time. I've told guys, when you come in here, you're going to get every opportunity to win a starting spot, and you're going to get an opportunity. I don't promise playing time. The players ultimately write the lineup, not me, but based on how well they're doing. So, some guys have, Brandon Compton's a great example. I was not anticipating Brandon Compton having this type of year. He got the opportunity to start opening day, and hasn't relinquished that opportunity, for the most part all year. So, there's guys that have taken that and made it very difficult for other guys to get in the lineup. Very often I'm not gonna sit Brandon Compton, and just to get some other guys in there, we gotta try and win every game. So, some of that guys get a little bit frustrated, and I understand that. That's totally respectable, and they're competitive kids that want to play. So that I'll never take away from them. But that's where I say, stay ready for your opportunity. You never know when it's coming. I don't bring guys in here with the anticipation of sitting them. I bring them in with the anticipation of, hey, how can you help us win a game today? And those roles form, and guys take advantage of opportunities, and they let their guard down. Other guys are going to get a shot, and if they don't, then they'll keep playing.
What went